The baby's dead. Okay, we have him in trauma too, but she killed the kid.
Where did you put the baby at? Tell me the truth.
517-836-460.
If you're not doing it, we're back. You put it in the bag?
Yes.
From what bag? Why didn't you say anything to us? Do you want to get in trouble for this now?
She gets out of the hospital bathroom thinking nobody will notice what horrific thing she did in there. When 19-year-old Alexi Trevizo came to the hospital claiming she has a serious back pain at 11:30, but at 1:39 a.m., Alexi suddenly needs to use the bathroom. Hospital surveillance captures her waddling toward the bathroom door, holding herself clearly in distress. Yet she comes back half-hour later looking completely fine and no back pain. But later when the hospital staff comes in, she saw the most horrific scene in her life.
All I saw was like blood everywhere, like on the walls, on the toilet. It just looked like a horror film.
Now, was it covering the floor, or was it like splotches?
You could tell she was wiping it up with paper towels because it was like smeared.
Okay.
Yeah.
According to the affidavit of her arrest warrant, she will be charged with first-degree murder or intentional abuse of her child and tampering with evidence. Her mother is with her worried. By the time the sun rises, Alexi Trevizo will be arrested and escorted through the helicopter, and in the next 6 months, she will be in every single news channel.
We are seeing new video of a cheerleader who secretly gave birth in a hospital and then, according to authorities, left her baby to die.
But the most troubling question is, did she knew she was pregnant the entire time? Did her mother, who was with her the entire time, knew? How did she deliver her own baby in just 15 minutes? And what exactly happened in that bathroom? So sit tight, because what you're about to see is one of the most horrific cases in Mexico, and every detail in this video has been verified by court hearings, legal documents, and new reports. It's January 26, 2023. Just before 11:30 p.m., a 19-year-old honor student walks into Artesia General Hospital in New Mexico with her mother. Alexi Trevizo is a cheerleader, a senior at Artesia High School, already accepted to New Mexico State University. She's been active all day, cheer practice, working out, but tonight she's in pain, severe pain in her lower back.
So what did she come here for that she told you?
She told me she had back pain.
That's it?
That's it.
The ER doctor, Dr. Vasquez, examines her. First question she asks is, could you be pregnant? Alexi answers immediately, no. She's emphatic about it. She says she's still a virgin. She's never had sex.
The interaction between them after she found out she was pregnant, the way the daughter was reacting about, she was adamantly denying she was even pregnant. She was denying that she had sex.
And you heard her say that?
Yes, she was denying that openly.
The doctor orders a pregnancy test anyway, standard protocol. If a woman comes in asking for medication for back pain before even giving any medication, they do urinal test and a pregnancy test.
Any female that comes in with back pain, we do a urine right away because we're worried about a urinary tract infection. And with any female, when we do that, we always do a pregnancy test to make sure we don't give them medications that would contraindicate pregnancy. Because then they'd start an IV and then they started running blood work on her, because once you find out someone's pregnant, then you run another lab test to see how far along they are.
And the results, she was pregnant for 38 weeks and could be in labor at any moment. At 1:39 a.m., just minutes after the positive test results, Alexi suddenly needs to use the bathroom. She gets up. She moves urgently. Hospital surveillance captures her waddling toward the bathroom door, holding herself clearly in distress. She locks the door behind her. What happens in the next 18 to 20 minutes will define everything that comes after. Alexi is in the bathroom for nearly 20 minutes. During that time, the nurses at the station begin noticing something. They hear the toilet flushing, not once, multiple times, so they started to get suspicious, thinking, what if she's having a miscarriage and flushing stuff down the toilet?
So she was in the bathroom, and then Chris, which is one of our other nurses, he was like, because I was like, dang, she's flushing that toilet like an awful lot.
Oh, so you noticed her toilet
Flushing, yes. And then he was like, well, damn. So I went and I knocked on the door, and I said, are you okay? And she said, yes, I'm fine. I'm just having a hard time going to the bathroom, is what she replied. So I was like, okay. And then I was like, well, push the call light if you need anything.
So you told her to push the call light?
Yeah, if she needed anything. And then, like, a few more flushes had gone by, and then that's when Chris was like, I don't know, because I told him, what if she's having a miscarriage in there and, you know, flushing stuff down the toilet? So he knocked on the door, and he's like, you got to unlock this door. And then she wouldn't reply, and he's like, if you don't reply, he goes, and then that's when she heard him call for me. And he was like, Laura, you got the spare key to this bathroom? And I was like, yeah, because we keep like a ring of keys by the desk where I sit. So I went and I got the key, and just as we were getting ready to open the door, she opened it, and all I saw was like blood everywhere, like on the walls, on the toilet. It just looked like a horror film.
When Nurse tried to ask about this, she didn't look at her and went straight to her room.
I noticed she had bloody footprints as she was leaving, going back.
The staff thinks miscarriage. The amount of blood, the distress, it all points to that. A young woman experiencing pregnancy loss in a hospital bathroom, it's not uncommon. They call housekeeping to clean up. A custodian named Leela arrives to empty the trash can. It's standard work. She's done it 1,000 times. She reaches for the wastebasket to remove it. It's heavier than it should be. She picks it up, and the weight is significant. She sets it back down. She calls out to the nurse and said,
"Something's in the trash can." I'm like, I looked in there, there's a clean liner. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Pick it up." I picked it, I could feel the weight. I knew then we had a serious problem. I just grabbed the trash can and went right across the hall into trauma 2. The liner was pulled out, but there was another trash bag in there in the bottom, but it was all it was rolled up. So I had to tear it apart. And then, of course, I saw the baby in there. So I pulled the baby out, got him on the bed, checked for signs of life. There was absolutely no life whatsoever. I immediately came out of there after I did that, went into the room where she was performing the vaginal exam, and I immediately told her, "You have to come out now." And she came out, and we went into trauma 2, and she reassessed the baby. At that time, between me and Chris and her, we determined, there was no reason for us to begin any life saving. The baby was completely gone.
and somehow, impossibly, no one heard anything, no crying, no struggle. How is this even possible to deliver a baby in under 20 minutes without any help? And the biggest question is, if the baby is in the trash can and the mother is totally fine, then why the bathroom is full of blood? We'll get to that in a bit, but first they called the police immediately. Officers arrive within minutes. Detectives are called, and after hearing everything, they go to Alexi's hospital room immediately. She's still there with her mother. The doctor enters the room with the police present. She tells them what was found.
I'm sorry that you're We discovered a dead baby in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. It came out of me and I didn't know what to do.
Lexi, I told you about this. I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth.
Notice, she was scared. Not because she just delivered a baby and put it in a trash can. She was scared because her mom found out about her secret. And the relationship between the mother and daughter is not usual at all.
Okay. Because she found the interaction between her mother and her daughter
And this
was weird.
Not only that, both of them never really cared about the baby. The nurses were working there for over 11 years, but they have never seen a cold reaction like this.
Did they have any comments?
Not one.
Really?
I was really surprised. Not one person asked me about the baby. If it was alive, if it was dead, if it was a boy, if it was a girl. No one asked me anything. She didn't even ask. No, she didn't ask. The only thing she started doing was crying and started talking about she didn't know what to do. Not one. I've never seen I've delivered multiple babies and I've seen multiple miscarriages, and I've never seen a reaction like that. And I don't even know what to say about that. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
How would you describe the reaction?
I think there was no emotion except for herself, and she really wasn't even crying tears. She was just. And the only thing she was upset about was that I think she was going to be in trouble with her mother. That was her only concern, in my opinion. There was no concern for the baby. No one asked me any questions about the baby. Not even the family members, when I went out there and talked to them, did they say, normally people, I would think, would say, was it a boy, a girl? No one asked me one question about the baby at all. Not one.
The whole time?
The whole time. No one asked me anything about the baby's condition, if it's a boy or a girl, anything, nothing.
Now the detectives were wondering about one question: where did that amount of blood come from? Because she was using a lot of towel dispenser to remove the blood on the floor, but a lot of blood was still there. When detectives asked these questions, the answer was terrifying.
But yeah, so anyways, the floor was just smeared with blood. Blood on the wall, like on the toilet and stuff. And
Do you remember which wall?
it was like the back wall between the toilet and the sink.
In your line of work, what would cause that kind of splatter?
I think something that got pulled out or ripped. Like if you rip something and blood just went, it was like Like once you see the photo, you'll see what I'm talking about.
What she's talking about is umbilical cord. It's a flexible structure, averaging 30 to 40 centimeters, and it actually provides oxygen and nutrients to the baby. And another essential part is placenta, which gets removed after the baby is born, and it's not a small thing that you can hide so easily. But here's the thing, no one knows where the placenta is. Not the detectives or even the hospital staffs. What they speculate is she probably torn apart the placenta by hand and then flushed out in the toilet, which is very dangerous because the amount of blood can put mother and the baby at risk.
So at that point, our concern was about her.
Right.
And getting her somewhere. Probably, I envisioned that she probably was going to have to have what we call a DNC to get the rest of the placenta out of her to make sure she'd be okay.
After that, Alexi was transferred to a different hospital. Artesia General Hospital staff decided to do an autopsy test of the baby, because when Alexi said the baby was not moving, everyone got suspicious. When the report finally arrived, it says, "Baby John Doe was a newborn baby who died shortly after birth. The air in the lungs and stomach, and no evidence of decomposition, is consistent with the baby having been born alive based on length, weight, and organ size." Weeks after when the investigation was done, Alexi was arrested with first-degree murder, and she was in jail for the time being.
This is my house. I have a right to see the warrant.
I'm letting you know she has a warrant for her arrest. We have a search warrant for your house. We have a warrant for her arrest.
Okay, can we see the warrant?
And once we
She gets a copy of it.
Can I go up there? Will you take her up there?
It's
Okay,
for-
so what is she under arrest for?
She's over 18. She's got a copy.
I understand that,
Right.
Detective Gonzalez. What is she under arrest for?
She has a warrant for arrest. Okay?
For what?
That's all I'm going to tell you. Okay?
What do you mean that's all you're going to tell me?
she's over the age of 18.
I understand that, but I have a right to know as well.
We'll tell you that.
Okay, then let me know now. Let me know now. I'm giving you the corporation. I told you answer my question. What is she under arrest for?
She's over the age of 18. Like, that is the only candidate which I bring her out here.
What is she under arrest
Bring her out here,
for?
we'll tell you that.
No, I'm not bringing her out here yet. Let me know what she's under arrest
gonna get
for.
arrested regardless. I don't know why.
For what? For what? For what?
You okay with telling me?
Tell me.
Homicide. Open count of homicide. And tampering with evidence.
Tampering with evidence?
Yes.
At the hospital?
Yet her high-profile lawyer, Gary Mitchell, claims that she didn't even know that she was pregnant. That's why she was going to school doing workouts and cheerleading.
There's no question that she thought she had been protected. There's no question that she had wisely used birth control, she and her boyfriend. So, but obviously it didn't work.
But if you look at the photos of before and after the pregnancy, you can clearly see the bump on her stomach. So I did a bit more digging to see if she really knew or not. And I found this footage. This nurse was with her in that night. Take a look at this.
Is this when you found out she was worried about getting in trouble? Did she tell you anything like?
She didn't say anything about what had happened. She was just essentially worried that she was just going to get in trouble.
So that's what I mean. Were those the questions she was asking?
Like what's going to happen to me? Like that kind of thing.
Did she ever ask about the baby?
No.
Not once.
Anything other than that that she talked to you about?
She did at one point in time when the ultrasound tech was in the room with her ask if there was anything. She pretty much said, would there be any like bad outcomes if she had stopped taking one medication and stopped taking another? And I said, well, what medications are you talking about? She said, well, what would happen if I stopped taking birth control and started taking weight loss medications? And I was like, I don't know.
It's an odd question.
That's all.
Just what happened if you stopped birth control, started weight loss? And she didn't like expand on that? She didn't tell you why she was thinking that?
No, it seemed obvious in my head though, so.
Could you like tell me why it seemed obvious?
Well, it seemed like she'd been trying to hide this pregnancy from her mother for some time. So if you know you're pregnant, you're not going to continue taking birth control medicines. But if you're trying to hide it, you might start taking weight loss medications. That's just kind of what it seemed.
Okay, just want to make sure, because it seems like it to me, so just want to make sure. I'm not thinking.
And was the argument between her and her mom pretty heated?
I wouldn't say heated, it was awkward.
Awkward.
Yeah. Like they were going back and forth and her mom was definitely angry.
And patient is 19. Mom is quite a bit older. Gotcha.
And they never once asked about the baby during the entire time you had contact with her once she left the bathroom. Even after they found out that the baby was found and all that, they never asked anything about the baby.
I did go, now that I think about it, I did go check on the mom just to give her an update. And I think she asked about the situation, like asked what was going on. But I told her I couldn't tell her anything. So I just went to go tell her that like she's being transferred to Roswell.
Right.
And give her an update on her daughter essentially. And that she asked about like what was going on with all of that. It's just like, what happened to the bathroom? What happened to the bathroom? I said, I can't tell you.
Right. But nothing specific saying, what about the baby?
Correct.
Her lawyer also claims that the hospital staff didn't do their job properly. They did the pregnancy test after giving her the heavy painkiller. That's why she wasn't in the right mindset.
I have serious problems with that. I have serious problems with the hospital care. I have serious problems with the records we're now getting out of that hospital because I don't think it's necessarily correct and honest. They did some lab work, but they gave the medication before and gave it anyway, and that's powerful painkillers. And I have serious problems with the charge in this case, which is first-degree murder. And you can bet your life we're going to defend this tenaciously.
Lawyer also claims that she is a good girl, an honor student, no juvenile record, no school suspensions.
She has absolutely no criminal record, not even a moving traffic offense, no juvenile record, no suspension from school ever, no infraction at school, and an honor student, and already admitted into college. And a member of the cheer team since she was a freshman in high school, a member of the choir, just an all-around top-notch student and person.
The prosecution paints a different picture. A girl who lied repeatedly, who hid a pregnancy for 9 months, who made no attempt to get help when a baby came out of her body, who placed that baby in a trash can deliberately.
What caused them to call the police was that she had found a baby wrapped in a trash bag under another trash bag. Now, as sad as that is, clearly that's a suspicious death. No different than if a 30-year-old had been found in the cleaning supply room with gunshots to the head.
The judge listens to both sides and said,
This girl goes into the emergency room. She's got these backaches. She's asked, "Are you pregnant?" She says no. They then do a pregnancy test. It comes out positive. They don't tell her. They don't tell her that the test shows she's pregnant. After the baby is delivered in the bathroom. So she comes in and says, "We found the dead baby in the bathroom." Worse that effect. It gives weight to the assertion that they thought from the beginning, the doctor thought from the beginning, she lied when she said she wasn't pregnant. And now she's confronting her without the benefit of having given her any medical information that she in fact delivered a dead baby. So that seems to me pretty agency oriented in terms of assisting the police.
The judge orders Alexi released on $100,000 bond. She's allowed to go home, to return to school, to graduate. She does graduate with a 3.8 GPA, though she doesn't attend the ceremony to avoid disruption. After this, I did some more research to see what people online are saying about this. One of the popular posts on Reddit says, "I truly believe that the entire family and school knew about the pregnancy, and that the only reason Alexi was brought to a hospital was to ensure that she did not bleed out during the birth. Alexi was the star of the family, and a baby would hinder her, and more so, her mom's ambitions for her. If you have any case suggestions, leave it in the comments section."